I was going through myself and learning things about myself, and processing my own dreams. And part of my dream was helping others realize their dreams.
I'm excited about this episode because we spoke with another certified dream manager. Deenya Craig is with Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota. We talked all about the Dream Manager program, the impact it's having in their organization, the way that their leadership is responding to it. She is working with a lot of their team members. And of course, we dug into some of the dreams that the team members have been able to achieve within just a year. That's what's so cool about the Dream Manager program, is that the impact that it has is almost immediate. Within the first couple of months, you start to see changes in your people. You start to see some more self-awareness, more engagement. People are just more optimistic. It is a beautiful program, and Deenya talks all about it. So if you are curious at all about implementing the program in your organization, this is a great episode for you to hear. So I hope you enjoy. Deenya, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am very excited about our conversation because we're talking all about Dream Manager, which is the best. But before we get into all the goodness of it all and what you're doing over there at Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota, give us a little lay of the land. Tell us a little bit about the organization, how many team members you have, and your role there.
So Lutheran Social Service serves all of Minnesota, and we have about 3,200 employees. I am the Director of Organizational Culture and Engagement in the HR department here and oversee a few different departments, but one of them is the Dream Manager program as we do culture and engagement. So I'm very excited to be a part of the organization in its turn for what we're doing now with employees.
And it's so exciting because so you are the second team member that's been on the show, because we got to interview Tori, who's also a certified dream manager. And it's really cool what you are all doing over there. And you're all serving people and you are serving your team members. So you are leaders who practice what they preach, which is amazing. And I'm excited to talk about this with you because you have been, at the time of recording this, you're actually just finishing up with one of the groups. So you've had them for a year. You've been coaching them for a year. And before we pressed record, you were like, I'm so sad that it's over, but more people get to be part of the program. So let's talk a little bit about the experience that you've had as a dream manager and taking people through this life-changing content.
The experience has been amazing, first of all. The excitement that is in the air around this program. We have an organizational-wide meeting once a year where we try to bring as many people as we can together for celebration and highlights. And we have these breakout sessions, which I did Dream Manager as one of them. It was all the rave and all the excitement, but there's so much in the air about the impact that it's making. And I love how you said that, Kate, that we are not just talking about it, but we're also doing it. And it's making a huge difference for our team members. Just so many different accomplishments and achievements, so many different things that are happening that are positive in their lives. So it's great for me to see that, to walk with them and be a part of people that I've never met before until they joined the Dream Manager program, and to watch them all the way through and now be a year afterwards. The accomplishments are amazing. I couldn't ask for anything better.
So as you were talking about this with your leadership team and going through the impact that it's having, what were some of the things that were showing up?
With my leadership team or with the people that were going through it?
With the leadership team, being able to see the impact. So what were they saying the program was doing? What were they hearing? What were they excited about?
First of all, they were hearing that I had a waiting list, right? It was full. The program was full, but they were hearing that people were making great strides, like they were doing better in their employment. They were doing better in their personal lives. They were showing up to work differently. They were showing up to work empowered. They were hearing and feeling the shift. And so as I would report on it, the thing that was coming back from leadership is, how can we better enhance this? Like, how can we increase what we're doing? How can we make this available to more So I started to brainstorm on how I could get Dream Manager to more people and deliver it to more and see the impact more with people and just having them share their stories more. It's just been so impactful.
Yeah, you guys are going to just continue to have more dream managers over there. I mean, as you guys grow.
We have talked about it.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. So your experience going through certification, let's talk a little bit about that. You came to certification to learn how to roll this program out and then obviously to have those one-on-one coaching conversations with your dreamers. What was that like?
I will say that it was way more impactful than I could have ever imagined. I don't know that there's a way to put it into words, what it does for me, what it did for me as a dream manager. Going through the certification, I was going through myself and learning things about myself, and processing my own dreams. And part of my dream was helping others realize their dreams. So it was a surreal experience because as I was going through it, I was living out one of my dreams right there in the program, doing it with others, and then watching the light bulb go off for them as they started to live out their dreams and started to hold themselves accountable and started to come into terms. We had lots of crying sessions in a good way, right? Lots of crying sessions where people were finally getting that breakthrough of, I can live out my dream. I can do what I'm called to do. I can have my career, and my job is a part of this. My home is a part of this. My family is a part of that. Like, there were just eye-opening moments during this transition for them and for me that I am just eternally grateful to the program for. This wasn't a part of what I was sold, right? No one sold me this and told me have Kleenex on hand because I was going to be crying through a lot of these sessions, but we cried together and it was amazing. It was amazing.
Oh, yes. Well, we should add that in the contract.
Yeah. Be prepared with Kleenex.
Be prepared for lots of emotions. And that is what we are here for. But that's what dreaming does, right? It really allows us to tap back into some of the dreams that we've had in our heart for so many years and we haven't done anything about. And it also opens up parts of ourselves that we haven't paid attention to, or that maybe we get into the place of, I don't have enough time, I'm too old, that ship has sailed. We give ourselves all these limitations. And then when you have someone like yourself, who's a dream manager, who is not only encouraging people to tap into those dreams that are clearly meant for them because it's in their heart for a reason, and then to help them uncover ways in which to make those dreams happen, it's a really powerful thing. And what a gift that you get to give to all of your dreamers. And I think every coach will say that it's just as fulfilling on the other side when you get to see that in those people and you get to see and help them reach their full potential, which is what we're here for, right? We're here to become the best version of ourselves. And that's what you get to do with all of your dreamers. It's amazing.
I don't think that there are enough words in the dictionary that can describe what it has done for me, but also what I have seen it do for our team members. And being a part, that is something personally, just a part of my working mission that I'm very passionate about, people being able to be their whole and authentic self, no matter where they are, but especially at work, that people are more than just an employee or a number, that they're coming to work and they still have their lives and their dreams in the background that are maybe not actively being worked on. And you're getting really a portion of that person if you don't invest in all of them. And I think that companies do their staff a disservice when they only invest in the working progress of it and not the whole person that they are. And that is what Dream Manager has allowed us to do. We've said, hey, we're going to pay you to dream about your personal aspirations. What's the other side of your dreams? We're glad that you're here, but what else do you want to do? And why haven't you been doing it? And how can we help you get there? And people, I think that is the steam that people are just signing up. Like I said, I have over an overweight list of people waiting to get into this program because it has been life-changing, and they've been hearing it from those that have gone through it, that it has helped them to do all sorts of things.
What I love so much about your organization and what you're seeing is that you help and serve so many others. And the people that you work with obviously have a heart for others and for people. We see it all the time. And I hate to say this, but we see a lot in, especially women. It's like we feed and feed into others and give, give, give. And so to be able to feed into your people the way that they are feeding into others. And that's the beautiful part about it, is that now you're giving them that place of, oh, I can dream. I'm helping all of these people to achieve their own dreams. And now I have someone helping me achieve dreams. And with the program, you're feeding them this new content and ideas to help them grow. And then they are going to take those ideas, and whether they know it or not, they're going to use that and pass it forward on to when they are doing their work to the people that you serve. And so it's just like this beautiful cycle that you get to create that type of culture within not only your team, but also your community, which is what we want, right? Like the more that we help people dream, you start to see the effects in other areas, and it's passing it on. It's passing it forward.
It is.
Let's talk about some of the dreams, because I love digging into some of the stories, like some of the dreams that people have. I'm always surprised by some of the dreams that show up. Some are very consistent. Obviously, we always hear people have those financial dreams and getting out of debt, and lots of dreams of people that want to lose weight. And so what are some of the dreams that have stuck out to you over the past year that you've been just so excited for your team members to achieve?
Like you said, the starting school or finishing school, or those buying a house, like those things, yes, they have done that in this session. A few that stick out to me was one who made a significant dent in their weight loss. I'm talking post 50, 60 pounds. They were down significantly, attributing that to being a part of just getting their life in order, right? Going through the rhythm of life, the 4 areas, and realizing that when those are out of sync, they're out of sync in other areas that are contributing to their weight. That was one that stuck out to me. A few other ones that stuck out to me was a person who decided that in order to put their dreams first, they needed to cut off a lot of other people that were draining them and change some relationships and start to realize that and again, the rhythm of life has been amazing for that I'm out of sync in these areas, and it's having a profound effect on me being able to even function and want to pursue my dreams. And so watching them set some boundaries for themselves and put themselves first, after they did that, they just took off. I mean, everything on their 1-year list, they were like coming to the meetings like, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I was like, yeah, cut through. I love it. Each person's journey is different, but I think realizing in that rhythm of life that truly those 4 areas, if I am out of sync in this area, it is having a profound effect on me being able to even function with my dreams. That was an eye-opener, because they're doing amazing now.
It's that intentionality, right? Like we have to be intentional about assessing where we are on a regular basis. And I love that the rhythm of life is we focus on, which is, as you know, because you do this with your dreamers, but it's that physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, and you get to rate yourself yellow, red, or green. Red, yellow, green. I put those out of order. And just seeing where you are and to have that self-assessment, that's something that most people don't do, right? It's like a new tool that we get to provide to anybody that goes through the program. And no matter how long they're part of the program, a lot of people still use that wherever they are, wherever they end up. And it's a great tool to introduce to people.
It's been fabulous. And I think, like you said, it's a new tool. But what I love about Dream Manager is that when people come to Dream Manager, they're looking for that. They're looking for tools that are not in their toolbox. These are things that they didn't have before. Like they knew, hey, if there is a spiritual component, right, or there is an intellectual component, or there are these, but to put them together and say, I want you every month to take time to think about where you are at in these areas and how, and if you're not where you want to be, how can you get to the green, right? How can you make progress towards the green? For them to set those goals and say, it's spiritual, right? I'm not in a place of peace because, I have a child in addiction, or I have a marriage that's in trouble, or I have some mental health things that I have to take care of. Like, to see them put those things in perspective for themselves and say, it's time for me to hold myself accountable to moving forward in this area, and then think about a plan to do it and come back. And to see the community of dreamers come together and support has also been amazing, because they're also holding them accountable and saying, I was where you were. You can do this. You can make it through this. I think that has been huge, because they may not have it anyplace else other than when we meet. And so that has been impactful, extremely impactful as well.
I love that you mentioned that, because most people don't have that support. They don't have that, even in the people in their lives that they love, right? Their significant other, there's lots going on. There's things happening in the world. There's life, right? There's kids and all the things that we do. And we don't always have someone that's really helping us and guiding us. And also just having that coach that is that third party person that's able to cheer you on. And you, of course, want to see people succeed, but you have no hidden agenda. It doesn't matter. It doesn't impact your life either way. And that's another thing, in our lives, most people don't have that. There's a lot of hidden agendas and with families or some of our friends and friendships and stuff. So to have a coach that is helping, literally your role is to help them be the best version of themselves, and giving them that opportunity to do that by achieving their dreams, and also just growing in different areas. So you've done the program for a year with this group. With every session, there's new information. There's the genius of your personality. You talk about time and energy. There's a professional side. Is there one session that you found really impactful for most people, or that you really loved taking people through? You saw a lot of aha moments.
Two particular ones that I saw people go, okay, I get it. One of them was the financial component, going through that and having to create the budget and but also finding out where their dreams fit into that they had allocated no financial resources to that. That was a big aha moment for a lot of people. This is something I need to do. And if I'm going to hold myself accountable, I have to hold myself accountable in my budget. This area of my life needs attention, and I've been avoiding it, right? So that was huge for my groups. And when you say I was meeting with these group of people, I have 5 cohorts going this year. So I had 5 different groups of people going, because I just couldn't say no. And I was so excited to have these people. But the other one was, and I always refer back to this, even as we were finishing up, the very end, the professional mastery piece, was the time and energy piece. And I hold them accountable to that. So from that, I think that's session 5. But once we had that session, every time we met after that, one of the things that I asked them that had profound impact was, did you make your dream a part of your working day? Is it in your work week at all? So when you're planning out your time, where is the time that you've allocated to your dream? Because if you don't write it down, it doesn't happen. And if you don't put any energy towards it, it's great that you realized it, but there's no work or progress done on it. And so one of the things that we made it a point to do after that session, every time we meet, is yes. And I wrote it down in my personal calendar to do before work or after work or on the weekend or whatever. They're making that time for it. And so when they have that times, I've encouraged them, this is your time to invest in you. If you only get this hour, if you've dedicated an hour on your schedule to your dream for the week, if you only have that hour, why not be selfish? Why give that hour to anything or anyone else? It's yours. You own that time. Invest in yourself and watch. If you do a little bit every time you're coming to fulfill that dream, right, or that time, then it will start to make progress. And that is something that has been extremely helpful for my people, because I always remind them, no one asked you I said, when you say, oh, I did this for my kids, or I had to do this extra assignment, or no one is asking you to sacrifice yourself. You gave that. Your kids don't want you to sacrifice yourself. They didn't say, hey, I want you to give up all your dreams and come and, listen to me talk about school. If you set those boundaries and you say, I am going to use this time for me, the people that really love you aren't asking you to sacrifice that. And so don't give it. Take that time for you.
It's also an opportunity to help those people in your life discover their own dreams. If you are actively pursuing your dreams, your kids are seeing that. And then they are growing up in a world of knowing, hey, we all get to support each other. Yes, of course, there are responsibilities and we can't shy away from those things. That's not what the point is. But it is such a reminder that we have to be the best version of ourselves so that we can be the best mother, sister, team member, brother, whatever roles that we play, because we all play lots of different roles. And it is so easy to feel this guilt of I should be doing this, or I should be over here spending time over there. And I think this is what I love about the relationship session. When you're talking about relationship and you get into communication, how do you communicate with the people in your lives? And when you're opening up dialogue and what that looks like. And so you're able to set expectations in a way that you haven't before. And so now this is why you're able to do both your dreams and your responsibilities, making it all happen and scheduling your time in a way that provides for both of those things to be fruitful.
I think that was a new concept too, Kate, that people realized their dreams or knew that they had them, but they did not allocate any working time to it. So when we had that session on time and energy, it was like, yes, I need to give my time to this. I need to carve out time. And that was a new concept because a lot of people said, I schedule my lunches, I schedule my meetings, I schedule my kids. I said, some of you are creating and managing crazy schedules. You've got kids in sports, right? And kids doing all these different extracurricular activities. You're involved in other things outside, and all of those things are scheduled in your life. The one thing that's not scheduled is the investment in you. And that session brought about a lot of tears, ironically, because people felt the letdown of not investing in themselves and saying, you know what, I do deserve this. I deserve to be happy pursuing my dreams, right? And we start out with that. Your dreams are your dreams for a reason. They're yours. If you don't do them, then who else is going to? Not your kids, not your spouse. Those are your dreams. And so they really started to kind of take ownership of that after they were like, these are mine. And I'm like, yes, that is what you need.
So empowering. It really is. So Deenya, why does this matter? As people are listening, and some leaders, they get it, they understand we've got to empower our team members and feed into them. But for some, they still are, why should I care about my team members' dreams? Why does this matter? Is it really impactful enough that it's going to affect the bottom line? What would you say to a leader that's questioning this?
I would say to a leader that is questioning this, that in every budget meeting, when you sit down, you're allocating money to something. Again, I think we all sit down and we allocate money for development in this area and development in that area. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't spend the resources and the money, it's a very small investment for a very large return. Your team members will be eternally grateful that even if their dreams lead them someplace else, right? They start a business and become successful. When they think back to how they got there, your company is going to be the driving force of positivity for them. They will be eternally grateful for the program and this organization. They will always lead good people. They will always sing your praises. It's the gift that keeps on giving. But also from a productivity standpoint, the truth of the matter is they're dreaming it anyway. If you don't invest into them, you're getting a piece of them. And that piece that you're getting, you're not getting all of them. So there's a part of them that's searching the internet for their dream. There's a part of them that's daydreaming out about it. There's a part of them that's being focused or redirected on that anyway. Why not just invest in it so that they can bring their whole selves to work? And I say that a lot, bring their whole selves to work. And then they can say, I'm doing everything that I need to do with my job for this time. And then there's this time that my job carved out for me to focus on myself. And I'm going to take that time and I'm going to do Dream Manager. I'm going to focus on myself and invest in myself. And the productivity, I promise, the productivity increases. It does. They become more aware and more thankful and grateful for being at an organization that's willing to invest. And that is something out of my first 5 groups for 40 people, every last one of them said, I feel so fortunate to work for a company that will invest in who I want to become personally. That has made all the difference in the world. And they're talking about it with their friends and saying their friends are happy, jealous that they wish that their company would do the same.
Oh, that's so beautiful, especially in today's world where people need good people, right? This is nothing new. I remember years and years ago when I worked at the Chamber of Commerce, it was always the conversation around how do we hire and retain great people? And you hire and retain great people that want to work for your organization because team members like yours are out there talking about how much they enjoy doing the work and they're treated like people. It's almost wild that we have to say it, like treat people like people and care about them. And you talk about having the whole person come to work, and we don't have a professional self and a personal self. We are one person. We don't show up a completely different person when we're at work and we do at home. We bring those stresses and those challenges and those joys with us on both sides. And it's beautiful that you get to be part of helping your team members dream. What would you say are the characteristics of a wonderful dream manager?
Well, I would love to say it's me.
Well, clearly it's you. So all of you.
All of me and then some. All of the great dream managers that I've met. One of the things that seems to be consistent across the board when I was training with the other dream managers, but also all of your staff and Tori, is that we have a passion for people. I think that has to be a qualifier. It can't be, well, the dream manager is just going to be one more thing that I'd add to them to do. No, they really have to have a passion for people, and they have to want to see people grow and increase. For lack of a better word, I think of the dream manager as like a farmer. This is a person that knows that their investment are going to come in planting. And so they are looking for people to plant into. They're looking for people to invest into. And once those seeds are planted, they're going through the 12 months, right, of harvesting that team member and watering and helping them get all that they need, because at some point they're going to start to sprout. And when they do, watch out. It depends on what was planted there. Did you just plant an apple seed and you're going to get an apple tree, or did you plant like a harvest full of corn and you're going to get, a huge return? It depends on what's planted there. And the beauty of it is we don't always know. So if you have a passion for people, you're going to start to see what comes up. And then like that true farmer, you're going to begin to start to harvest that of, oh my goodness, this is what is coming up from this person. And this is fabulous. This is everything and anything that I could imagine it to be, but also a person that is not afraid to ask the right questions, right? Part of this is the coaching of questions, and it's not being afraid to ask the questions that need to be asked when they come and they are in the yellow or they are in the red. So let's look back at last month. You were green last month. So there was something that you stopped doing or something that entered. What happened here? I think being really comfortable asking the questions that need to be asked is another quality that a dream manager has to have. And most of us aren't afraid to ask questions. We're just afraid to ask the right questions because we know the answers to the questions that we're asking, but we're sometimes afraid to ask the right question. And it's moving beyond that barrier.
Great questions change our lives.
They do.
And to have someone who is not only asking you the right questions, but then pushing you to actually answer it the way that you know it should be answered. That's the other thing. We know what we should be doing. We know when we're not living our potential. We know when things are out of line. We feel it. We might not know it in our head, but in our heart, we feel it. And so to have a coach like you that is asking those questions and then making sure that we're really leaning into those answers, it's tough, right? It could be challenging, but that's why you have a coach. That's what a coach is for, is to push you, to challenge you.
Absolutely. We're pushing them to answer when they just say, oh, things got off this month or whatever. And then it's like, okay, so are you comfortable? How does it feel to be in the red when you were in the green last month? Are you comfortable here? Well, no. Okay. So you tell me what you need to change to move the needle on this so that when we meet next month, you don't tell me that you're still in the red. And then they think about it and it's them realizing I have to be accountable to me because I'm the one coming with this every month and it doesn't feel good to be in the red now when I was in the green. And so I need to change what I'm doing. But it's that push. And a lot of them have said that when I have pushed them that, thank you for making me be accountable, because that's also something that our families sometimes don't do very well because they see that we worked all day. And so they give us, it's like the husband that gives you a pass when he asks what's for dinner and you say pizza from Domino's or something. It's not this 5-course meal that I'd laid out. And they just say, okay, because they realize that we've worked all day and we're exhausted. But it is that I'm not your family, so I'm going to push you to say, what do you need to do? I'm not giving you the pass.
Nope. Don't let them off the hook, Deenya. Don't let them off the hook. I'm so grateful for you and everything that you're doing over there. You and Tori are incredible dream managers and leaders, and the work that you're doing for your people. And just warms our heart over here at Floyd to know that your people are responding the way that they have been. I mean, we know that it would be that way because that's what happens every time. But it's so great to hear that they're expressing the gratitude of being able to work for an organization that feeds into them and wants to help them grow personally and professionally. So thank you for everything that you are doing over there. And is there anything else that someone listening needs to know if they're considering becoming a dream manager and they're not quite sure yet? Anything else that we left out?
I would say this. It's a very small investment for such a big return. If you're on the fence, I'm going to say 2 words to you. Try it. It's a small investment. If at the end you don't see the return, I would be shocked. But I will say that there is no greater investment than an organization can make to invest in the well-being and the benefit of the development of their team members in every area. It is such a great return on investment that I would say try it. That's my 2 words to you. Try it.
Try it. I love it. That is amazing. Oh, you're so awesome. Deenya, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'm very excited. We'll have you come back a year from now as you have gone through even more dreamers and hear about the dreams that you're having and the impact that it continues to make with your team. And so, of course, if there's anything we can do for you over here at Floyd, we are here for it. So thank you for everything. And thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome. Anytime.
I just love listening to our dream managers. It is so cool to hear the impact it's having in their organizations, the changes that it's having with their people. And that's one thing that I find so fascinating is that it surprises people how much it helps their team members. It surprises people how much it changes them. It helps them reach their potential. It helps them uncover some of the superpowers that they have that they might not be leaning into, and rediscover some of the dreams that they've had in their heart that they've given up on. And it really is an incredible opportunity for someone within an organization to serve as the dream manager. It's just amazing. And then to see the impact that it's having. So obviously over at Floyd, we get excited about it because this is what we get to do all the time is we help people dream. And the dream manager, we always say it's the best title in the world, right? The dream manager, where you are able to help your people achieve their dreams and show up differently differently in the world, to view the world differently, to have more optimism, to just become the best version of themselves, which is what we're here for. So if you are interested at all in learning more about the Dream Manager program, becoming certified to be a Dream Manager, or you want to implement the program and you have the perfect person on your team, or maybe you don't yet, maybe you don't even know who that person would be, that's all right. We can help you work through all of those things. We would love to have a conversation with you. You can go to thedreammanager.com, fill out that form, and someone on our team will give you a call, have that conversation, and hey, let's get your people starting to dream again. You are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to the show. We hope that you gain at least some inspiration, some type of takeaway every time that you listen. That is our goal here. So we hope that happened for you on this episode. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. And until next time, lead with culture.